709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company. Much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs, and if you can dream it, we can probably make it. We can custom laser cut and engrave on nearly all material. Great for one-of-a-kind gifts, home decor, business and specialty items, or personalized and logoed designs created just for you or your company. Allow us to become your go-to gift and specialty project partner. Romika Designs can help make your ideas a reality. We're ready to help you design and create that special gift for any occasion or engrave your personal or business logo on just about any product. View our designs at romikadesigns.com or simply email us with your ideas. We specialize in custom design and would be honored to have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@romikadesigns.com, or visit us on the web at romikadesigns.com.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleburne, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleburne, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they've got you covered.
The voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
How the president ain't gonna go be late?
Yeah, it happens.
How's he gonna be late?
Busy man.
And I hope he's got me turned on in the car right now, for sure. Like, how you late, Prez? How you late? Just kidding, man. There's actually a pretty big traffic jam coming into Burleson. I don't know. About an hour or so ago, it started backing up there, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm sure something happened. But anyway, it is championship weekend. Welcome to After the Whistle. I'm sure you guys can hear my voice, so let me just apologize up front for it. No, I don't have COVID, and I don't have COVID 12.5 or whatever the case may be that's out right now. It is this wonderful, absolutely Christmas, finally feels like fall weather that has rolled in here. So it's kind of got me in the voice a little bit, but I feel great, feel fantastic, and absolutely ready for some playoff football this weekend. We got a bunch of people jumping on right now on the live, so you know the rules. If you're with us, drop an L for live. If you watch a little later, drop an R for replay. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. Today is purely playoff talk today. No towns are in here today. We've got already shout outs to 12U Wildcats. We're going to talk about them in a minute. Man, they are just kind of rolling through. They're kind of that sleeper that everybody keeps sleeping on. We got the 12U Raiders. Cooper's throwing out the 10U Elks. What a game they got this weekend, man. We have got some huge matchups this weekend, and for those of you that don't know, we have Mike, and Mike's going to be with us today, the president and vice president of Northwest, to talk a little bit about what's going on. But before we get into playoff talk, let me just kind of ask you, as head of the board, how do you feel the playoffs are going for Northwest this year?
Pretty good. I mean, we had some great matchups in the first round. I know at our place we had, I wouldn't say an upset, but it was a tight game that came down to the wire. Waxahachie versus Ferris. Ferris advanced.
I got that text message.
Yeah, so it was
let's go Ferris.
Especially since that coach of ours lives in Ferris. I mean, it was a big deal for him.
Oh, so,
wow. Yeah. He's probably not gonna be very happy that I said that, but
man, getting
called
out.
It was a big game for him, and we came up short. And so,
yeah. Man, I love the playoffs this weekend, and I got several messages. I got my RYA team is on there. There's Eric. I knew it wouldn't take him long, and Cody, and we got 7U RYA, 8U RYA, 10U RYA. I got several texts about them, about the games that I got wrong. Never got the text of the games I got right, but I got the ones that I got wrong. But man, great weekend for RYA this weekend. A lot of good stuff going on. You know, I'll tell you that I was out at Centennial High School in Burleson, and man, we got there like 6:45 to set up. And I do want to say this for all the towns that are hosting and the volunteers that have gone out there. You know, you parents and stuff that are coming out there, a lot of times you guys don't see the work that's going on behind the scenes today. Ricky just texted me and said, "Sorry, I have to interrupt myself. I thought there was a show today." Ricky, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to text him right now. We are on live, bro.
I think he's got 1 foot out the door.
Yeah, Ricky is hit retirement at this point in time. And I'm telling him, I just called you out. You can't have a show without having a Ricky like pop in somewhere, some way, some shape. But anyway, out at Centennial, and for you parents and stuff that are going out to the games, know how much work has been put in by the volunteers in the towns.
Yeah, it was a 12-hour day for us.
Massive. Yeah, we got there. I think, man, me and Kevin Craig and Cherry and Becky, we were the first to get there. I want to say it's like 6:45-ish, 6:30.
6:37, yeah.
And then Sean was there from the Raiders, which, man, that was so much fun getting to co-host with the Raiders. Sean was there, and Steve was there, and Kyla was there. And that, everybody was just setting up just that kind of that morning. I'm a hunter, and so I'll be glad when these next 2 weeks are going because I can get out and go hunting on the weekend. But one of my favorite things about hunting is when the sun comes up, you kind of feel everything start to come alive. And you've seen that this weekend with football. Matter of fact, I think Steve actually took a picture on the field with the sun coming up. And man, you parents, just hope you understand when you're out at the games. And look, they're going to get more intense as we go in the rounds. Just know the time that has been put in. They are 12-hour days for pretty much anybody that's hosting out there, on your feet, helping make sure everything runs smoothly. When your game is over and you leave to get to go in your car, they're waiting to pick up the trash, empty the trash bins, clean up after everything, and get home. So shout out to all the parents and all the volunteers that have gone out there, and shout out to the players, man. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of kids in every age level where I was out at the field just leaving it all out there.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Well, the thing that I hate about this time of year is, and it doesn't matter which town it is, everybody can't win. And the thing that sucks to see is a kid that's upset that, they're not advancing, especially the 12-year-olds. The 12-year-olds, man, it just breaks my heart because they're done. They don't have any redemption. They got to go to junior high.
Yeah, and hopefully they get a chance to do well in junior high. We've got all kinds there. Ari's on. Saginaw always hosts first and second round of playoffs because Saginaw just has that juice every year. Man, gotta love it. Amy's on. SY in the house. Shout out to the Cowboys, the Gators, Frogs, Longhorns, and Pioneers. There's Ricky. Ricky, you made it, man. I'm glad you found us again. Gris, shout out to the Justin 88 8U Wildcats for making the All-Star team. We're going to talk a little bit about the All-Star team before we get to the playoffs, stuff like that. That's coming up really quick. Man, we got a lot of people that are on here. 10U shout outs. Guys, keep giving the shout out. Shout out to your players on there. Also, I want to hear your predictions of the rounds this week that we're going into. But Mike, talk to me a little bit about the All-Star game. I don't have the date in front of me. Do you know the date off the top of your head?
December 10th.
December the 10th. And where's it going to be at?
Waxahachie,
December the 10th. So if your towns are participating in the All-Star game, and there's a lot of towns that are, there's some towns that weren't able to this year. And I would tell you, just bear with the league when it comes to the All-Star game because it was put together, but there were a lot of moving parts and changes. I promise you next year, you'll see something totally different on the table. Hopefully they continue the All-Star game and it's a huge success. So if it didn't kind of fit your cup of tea this year, make sure your town rep represents that February meeting. Is that right? Where the rules, so you guys can talk about that. But man, if you don't have nothing to do, you're going to see the best of the best that Northwest has to offer out in Waxahachie, and come out and see it. The uniforms, they got some pictures of them. Those are coming in. Shout out, I believe Eric and those guys out of our way got those done. Shout out to those guys for getting those turned around in a good, timely manner. And it's going to be a fun day out there for the All-Star game. You guys need volunteers, or y'all got it covered right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, 2 reps from each town should be there working. So we're actually running the concession. That's how we're paying for all this.
Okay.
Those uniforms weren't cheap, or we didn't pass that buck on to the parents. So your gate and concessions for the All-Star game will actually pay for the event.
That's awesome. So guys, come out and support. Even if your kid's not there, Ricky, you better be there. And I want to see the Waxahachie green on you. But Ricky just said, "OMG, Waxahachie." But even if you don't have a child playing, bring your kid out and let them watch.
For sure.
Bring them out. Burleson and the Elks aren't participating this year, and a lot of it was just kind of that miscommunication on who was and what paying and stuff like that. But I know we're going to have people going out there to watch the game. Bring them out to watch, because what I can tell you is this, that I've learned in my short time in youth sports, is that kids want to strive to higher levels when they see other kids doing it.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes as a coach, man, I can yell and scream until my voice sounds like this, and they don't do it, but their buddy does it, and they're like, "Oh, that's what you wanted," and they do it. Bring them out there. We should have a ton of kids in the stands at the All-Star game, rooting on their teammates out there. It should be a one-of-a-kind event. I've got some ideas I want to share with you guys afterwards about having some like cameras and stuff on the field. Maybe we can go live with it on Facebook if y'all are open to that type of stuff.
Yeah,
I think it'd be kind of cool.
I know that
to see.
My personal children, my high school children will be out there. We will film all the games from the ground and from a coach's perspective. Just to, I'm very passionate about video, so we're going to make sure we.
I'm going to let Mike in while you talk.
We're going to make sure that we have a highlight video afterwards, and so we're excited to put that together for you guys. All right, the Prez is in the house. He was a little late.
He made it. Yeah, I think a highlight video would be cool, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to get some stuff out there, with the teams and stuff like that. It's going to be a fun game, but guys, make sure you bring your kids out there, even if they're not playing. We got a lot of comments. Ari, I appreciate that shout out. It says shout out to Mike Moore for putting on the show every week. He's a real MVP. You got all respect from SYA coach Tim. Tim, thank you so much for that. Candace says 2 of my boys made the all-star team. That's something very proud of, to be proud of right there. Gris says uniforms look nice. I guess Ricky got sick. I'm not sure why. He put a little throwing up emoji on there. But guys, bring your kids out to the All-Star game. Even if they're not playing, get those guys out there. Come out and support your teammates. We're going to have a lot of fun out there. We've got some good stuff that's going to be going on out there, and we're going to make it a good day.
We do need someone to take still photos. So if anybody out there that's listening wants to come out and take action shots on a voluntary basis, that'd be awesome.
I will ask, and she may be listening, and if she's not, Becky Pybus on our board, her dad, I don't know if he's a professional photographer, but he does like a lot of our teams, and man, they look fantastic. I'll see, and I know he's already badged, so I'll see if he has anything to do that weekend about coming out there and going from there. I'll message her afterwards. Don't want to volunteer him because I know it's that time of year, but see what's going on. Chris says, "What's up, Mike Hernandez?" Guys, we got a lot of cool things going on. Lance is here. Lance, y'all, if Lance is available, Lance is a beast.
That'd be awesome.
Lance, I will hit you up if that's something that you're in. Like, there ain't nobody better in DFW when it comes to that type of stuff, especially video stuff. I mean, Lance is a beast. I'll hit him up to see if that's something he may be interested in. So, Prez,
what's happening?
Pull your mic close to you so the world can hear you.
What's going on?
Talk to me about this season. Are you happy with it?
Yes, I'm very happy with the season, and the playoffs are just another part of the season. And I think, like y'all were talking earlier, I think the first week went well. We had a couple hiccups, but that's over, said and done with. So we're moving on to the semis. It's gonna be a good weekend of football.
Now I'm gonna put you on the spot here, and you may have to plead the fifth, and that's okay. But how many people are y'all expecting to want to join Northwest next year?
Let's just put a few.
Put a few
with that, and let's just go on this little topic. If you're not happy in your league right now, this is a shout out to any teams that are not in Northwest Texas. Why don't y'all come out this weekend and check out our semifinal games? Some of those are going to be some as good as our Super Bowl, and then come out the week after that and check us out in Ferris for our Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, there are some, and we're about to get into some of those matchups. There's some nasty games out there this weekend that are just, man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be it's going to be exciting, fun, and heartbreaking all in one, because somebody's going to have to lose, somebody's going to win, and it's going to be exciting. And then the Super Bowl matchups the next week is just going to be absolutely unbelievable. But yes, shout out to that. I know we've had a lot of people kind of knocking on the door and stuff like that about coming. I know people have reached out to me, and I will tell you, for our first year in the league, I mean, I'll tell you the thing I like the most about the league is, and I know this is kind of weird to say because some people would maybe disagree, but how quickly, how fast, how open communication is through that band app, where things just pop, 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 and people can express truly the way they feel, and it's not shot down. And not saying this happens in other leagues, but this is my first kind of seeing behind the scenes. We don't have to wait for the monthly meeting for that stuff to happen. It's like, hey man, this happened and we need this resolved. And it gets resolved. And not everybody gets their way, right? It's not like it's right. I mean, we've seen that happen, more times than not, probably. But I love that free flowing communication that happens between the town reps and the towns and the executive team on there, where it doesn't feel like it's like, okay, well, these guys always get their way. I cannot tell you how many times, and this is just a shout out to the league. You parents, you may wonder, well, why are you guys talking about this? It's a playoff, because you need to know what's happening behind the scenes, because showing up playing on Saturdays, that's the cherry on top of the cake that happens, right? These guys are putting together this league all year round, but then when the football season comes, it's like a cake. All that batter's been mixed, and now they got to put it in the oven. Well, you still can't leave it in the oven too long because it's going to burn. You can't take it out too early because it's going to be too doughy and you can't eat. And then when it gets out, you got to put the icing and the cherry and all that. Guys, all that stuff is happening almost 24/7. I mean, if it can be said that way. I mean, there's messages on the band app right now while we're live on the show. And all that stuff, guys, goes in for your kids. And I tell you that because I know some people may have had a great year. Some people may have okay years. Some people may have had a terrible year. At the end of the day, everybody's looking out for the kids. And there's some pretty high expectations I think you guys have set for the next couple of years going in the league, as far as that goes.
Well, as someone that sat on both boards, I was vice president of Brazos before it became MIFA, and we moved over here. And this year I was voted in as your vice president of Northwest Texas. The amount of information that goes out is key, but also I'd say everything's open to a conversation. When we left, was then Brazos, now MIFA, there wasn't a lot of openness to conversation about changing things. We couldn't even get open to a conversation about hosting a meeting somewhere other than Burleson. So when we came over, that was a huge plus for us. It's like, hey, these guys are open to at least hearing what we have to say and talking about it and then voting on it. And then if there's something comes up in between meetings, we have the to be able to chat and communicate with each other as a whole.
Yeah, no, and I think that's great. A lot of comments that are coming in. We've got Doug says now he wants some cake. Bro, get you a nothing but cake right here in Burleson. Like, fantastic. Chris says, let's go Saginaw, going for 5 teams into the Super Bowl. Man, that's a great year. Cody says, always about the kids. Ricky says, heck no, there wasn't. I assume he's replying to your comment. Ricky always comes to leave it open right there. You know what I mean? He never just gives us what he's
calling him Sleepy Ricky.
Sleepy Ricky. Ricky is he's got the Thunderbird ready to go cruising.
He's got some Thunderbird, all right.
I can't wait to see Ricky this weekend for sure. Amy says, absolutely can't wait to watch all these kids grow. Man, guys, it's going to be a great year. So I want to get into the playoff talk, but before I do, is there anything with you two guys, president, vice president of the executive board, that y'all want to talk about or address in the playoffs, or anything about the future of the league going in next year? I know those things are probably already getting laid down and hard at work. Y'all probably 4 steps ahead of the playoffs for next year. Anything y'all want to talk about before we get into playoff talk?
Well, first and foremost, parents, let's be easy on the officials the next 2 weeks. Let your coaches do the talking for you. It doesn't do us any good to get worked up. Those are human beings. You get on them too much, they're going to turn on you. So that would be my only advice for the next couple of weeks.
Let me ask you about that. If a parent or a player that's not aging out or a coach gets ejected, does that carry into next season?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've done it in the past. So yeah, if you get ejected either this week or next week in the Super Bowl and you're still in the league, you still got to uphold those suspensions. That's just the way it is. Just to piggyback off him real quick and just get it out there. You know, I was at my son's middle school basketball meeting yesterday, and that was the first thing they said. Relax on the umpires. Let the coaches coach. Let the umpires coach. I mean, ref the game, because we're short-handed right now. We're
Very short-handed.
Yeah.
very short-handed. So we don't want them to walk off the field at in a
Middle of
crucial
the game,
game.
yeah.
So 2 more weeks.
Because there's no backups. They're not sitting around waiting to come on the field for somebody to quit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can tell you, I sure ain't doing it either, man.
Yeah.
I don't want that. Here's what I say to parents and the officials: these games are going to be emotional this weekend.
For sure.
There's no doubt about it. There's some heavy matchups. We're going to talk about it. There's going to be a lot of close games this weekend. You're going to see less than 1-score games. A turnover is going to matter. A missed call is going to matter. At the end of the day, it's youth football.
No one's getting signed today.
Yeah, no one's getting signed today. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. I can assure you that anybody that's considered playing college football, they're not going back and looking at your baby's fumble that they made this year, right? They might start that maybe in junior high, but not in Pee-wee. But all that said and done, as a parent, don't cost your team. Because I can tell you as a coach on the sideline, how many times that a referee will look at me and say, Coach, you need to tell those parents to calm down. And then lo and behold, we get a flag call for a holding. Or guys, they're human, right? And so you can be yelling and screaming and all that type of stuff and feel like, man, you're making an impact, but all you're doing is negatively impacting that coach, because now that coach has to butter up that ref to make sure and walk on eggshells. And then there could be a huge call that coach needs to go, hey, listen, man, we need to talk about this. And they're not even going to listen to them. So cheer for your kids, yell for your kids. Obviously, if you see a bad call, it's okay. It's a bad call. You can make your voice heard, but don't harp on it, right? These refs understand it. They understand. There's high school football tonight. They understand tonight that right down the road at Centennial when they play, if they make a call against a Centennial team, there's going to be boos that are going to happen in the stand. The problem is when it goes to that next level is what I'm hearing you guys say.
Personal, yeah. And be nice to each other. Some of these places we're playing this weekend don't have visiting stands. So y'all chill. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, we don't need none of that. Chris says free Eric Gomez. Eric, you're free, man. You were free. Thomas says the refs decided to show up half an hour late to the game. Make sure that stuff's being reported, guys. I mean, I obviously these guys are getting paid, and make sure that stuff's being reported, as I'm sure that it is. But take it easy on the refs, and definitely take it easy on the kids. Right. Even if you're playing an opposing team, these are just kids. Take it easy on them. We don't want to be on the 6 o'clock news for playoff weekend football.
Stay off of YouTube this weekend.
Stay off of YouTube this weekend. Enjoy the games. Cheer them on. Cheer those cheerleaders on. It's going to be cold.
Yeah.
Okay. Be ready.
Bring your blankets.
Bring your blankets.
Leave your cowbells.
I jokingly told our board today. I was like, hot chocolate, $10 a cup tomorrow.
Yeah. Make a killing.
It's
coffee too.
Pocket warmers. Those are huge. Make sure your kids are dressed right. And as we get into this playoff talk here, guys, cold affects kids.
Mm-hmm.
It affects kids, right?
Yep.
These are not pro-paid athletes. Tomorrow there will be, mark my words, you guys can mark it down. There's going to be a team that loses tomorrow because their kids were not ready for the cold, and they're standing there, they're shivering, they don't want to hit nobody, they don't wrap up, they don't tackle because it stings. It's going to happen this weekend, because I think the first kickoff game's like 39 degrees.
Let me give you an example of what you're saying. So I'm playing in a playoff game in college. We go up to Wisconsin and play Wisconsin Whitewater. 3 inches of snow on the ground. It's cold. It's blowing. Our star running back refuses to get off the bus. I ain't doing it. This dude was all confident.
That's a college player.
Sat on the bus for the entire game. Wouldn't get off the bus. So you're right. It's a big deal.
Yeah. And parents, when they shut down because of the cold, relax. It's
cold
football, and it happens every year at this
Oh, yeah.
time, and it it's
I
bad
thought we
'cause
were
it's
going to miss
playoff.
it. I thought we were going to miss
Almost.
it.
Almost.
I really did.
Let's hope the Super Bowl's nice.
I
Yeah.
thought it's not. It's supposed to be really cold next week, all next week. Matter of fact, I think like Tuesday next week is supposed to be like 40 and rain.
Lovely.
So it's here. It's Texas, right?
Sounds like a film day.
Here we are. But it's going to be cold. Cheer them on. Get them those little pocket hand warmers and make sure they got, leggings on, and make sure those cheerleaders are dressed up, nice and warm out there too. They got their jackets on. Amia says, praying for our little 5U kids. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold in the morning. There's no doubt about that. Ricky says Midlothian will not have visiting side of the stand, so all fans will be on one side. We ask you please be respectful of each other, refs and the kids, and to Ricky. So I agree with all that
pick on
except Ricky.
Pick on Ricky.
Y'all can pick on Ricky. Ricky can take it.
Sleepy Ricky.
He's got 2 games left before he retires. Make sure he goes out with a bang.
We're gonna make sure that nickname sticks for the next 2 weeks.
Danny says, let's go 9U Longhorns. And Carlos Cody says he is live from Lake Worth. All right, so we're going to start playoff brackets. We're going to start with our flag division. We've got pretty much just like we kind of thought last week, 1, 4, 3, and 2 all advance. We've got Saginaw Dusky, the 1 seed. They're taking on Midlothian Garrick, and then Waxahachie Cooper taking on Kennedale Mustafa. I don't see any upsets happening in the flag division. I think Dusky's going to go ahead and take this and move on, and I think Cooper's going to do their thing and move on there. I do see these games being a little bit closer because of how cold it is.
Yeah.
Look, it's going to hurt when they run. And that breathing is going to hurt when they run.
For sure.
I don't know you're going to have these huge, break off big time runs because they're going to be breathing so hard and stuff like that. So I see the scores being a little bit lower, especially in these first age group divisions as they try to get warmed up. But I don't see any upsets happening. I think we've got Dusky that's going to move on to the Super Bowl. And they're going to be facing Waxahachie Cooper, which is going to be a fantastic matchup. It's going to be fantastic matchup as far as the Super Bowl goes in the flag division. And what I'm excited about the flag division, since we got a minute left and I won't start the other conference, this is our future.
Mm-hmm.
And man, there was some really good teams in flag this year.
Oh yeah.
And in 2 years? So they go 2 years in flag and they'll be putting on, 7U tackle. I cannot wait. Ricky says every time he picks against Garrick, he wins. Well, you know what? I look forward to that text message, Ricky. But I don't think.
I'd love to see a Waxahachie Midlothian.
Man, Ricky,
Boy.
Ricky would show up with the '80s hair metal playing,
Man.
and it would be on if that happened for sure. Nathan says 7U Ferris all the way. Amaya says Dusky all the way. And Amia also says, yes, there's so much talent. We are so ready for them to play tackle. They will absolutely get there. I am super excited about this flag division. And guys, don't sleep on it. If you've got a game that's after the flag or maybe 2 games afterwards, I know it's going to be cold, but get out there, support them. This is a big game for these kids. This is a big game for flag.
Yeah.
This is a big game. Get out there,
season.
give them their support. It has been a long season. July 15th.
Yeah.
Is that when it started? I mean, July 15th, and here we are, November the 12th tomorrow.
It's a long time to herd cats.
Man, that's one thing I don't know that I'll ever get into doing, y'all, is coaching a flag. My hat off to every single flag coach. Every flag coach. You guys deserve, more awards and out there. And all the moms that help. Guys, thank you so much for what you do in flag. But we've got Dusky and Cooper moving on to the Super Bowl in flag. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
All right, let me get through this so we can get to playoff talk. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and on the live 24/7 TuneIn Radio Network. Tune in to joco.com to find all the ways to listen, watch. Also, the station app is available on your Android and Apple devices. Just simply search your store. You can check out the lineup and more at jocoradio.com. This episode is brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep at 844-TEXT-TEL. It's also brought to you by Versus Uniforms. You can reach us at vssportswear.com or at 817-308-6064. Got some questions on here for Waxahachie. It says, can we bring propane heaters for our kids?
Probably not a good idea on turf.
Not a good idea on turf.
Not trying to pay for that repair bill.
Yeah, for sure. Ricky says, I've seen some amazing athletes in 5U and 6U. And 7U Gators getting shout out here. So we've got all kinds of great stuff that's going on. All right, so we're going to jump right back into playoff talk because we got a lot to go and a short time to get there. 6U called this upset. Sorry, RYA. But our first round matchup is not the 1 versus 4. It's 1 versus 5. And we got Waxahachie Granger versus Burleson Johnson.
Sorry, Burleson.
And kind of took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
That Granger team is just unbelievable. Now,
is that Super Bowl team from last year?
I don't think they've still been scored on, have they?
Mm-mm.
I wonder how, though. I mean, how are they going to do in the cold?
I don't know. They're pretty tough.
Tough little group?
Yeah, they're pretty tough.
They're pretty tough. I've seen them in 2 Super Bowls, so they're pretty tough. Not all of them, but half of them.
The ones that matter. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. But Johnson, that dude's a phenomenal coach. So I know he'll have them boys ready.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I don't know if this is him on here, but BYA Raiders football says 6U Johnson's about to shock the world.
Score.
You know,
hey, that's a win.
Against that group, it probably is.
You know, here's what's interesting about it. It's one game.
Yeah.
And it's going to be cold. I don't know what time that game is kicking off in Waxahachie.
11
o'clock.
Yep.
So temperature at 11 is supposed to be in the 40s. I don't think there's going to be any rain, but it's going to be cold. And we were talking about it before the show kicked off. You don't know how they're going to act in the cold.
Mm-hmm.
And so preparation is going to be key. Unfortunately, I cannot pick them to make this upset, though, this week. I've got Granger moving on, and I don't think they're going to have any trouble scoring in the cold. And I think they keep the shutout streak alive. I really do. That's a really good football team that's over there. On here, John says, I want to say we almost had them, the 6U Royals, you know, and almost is really good in a lot of sports. Yeah, in a lot of sports, almost is really good. It's just the football sport almost just doesn't, you know, quite get you there, right? And from there, but great season, 6U RYA. You guys should be very proud of what's happening in that program. Our next matchup is Ferris King versus Red Oak Young. This one is interesting to me.
Well, BJ better back it up. He better put at least one of his teams in the Super Bowl.
You know, and he said it. He said that it was going to be an all Red Oak Super Bowl.
That ended last week in Waxahachie.
Man, you're on a roll right now. I really want to take the upset in this one.
Yeah,
I do.
That Ferris team's pretty good. I watched them.
They're good.
Yeah,
they are a good team. I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take Red Oak Young to beat Ferris.
Ooh.
Partly because of the cold, partly because I think Ferris, he kind of knew what he had coming in the season. You know, talked about having that in there. This is a good team. Red Oak is a good team. I just think Red Oak's going to do it. I've been feeling it. I've been all week. Now, Ferrets, don't hate me. You know, I want you guys to have that team, especially with the Super Bowl coming.
Well, either way, we like those Ellis County matchups. It's good for bragging rights.
Oh, man. Oh, just Mike, they're just going at it right now.
Believe me, I'm gonna catch mine later here in a minute. So
it's going. I'm taking Red Oak in a very close game to win this game. I look forward from the message from Ferris, from Coach Nathan. I look forward to the message on band because it will come. I will be tagged in it if that doesn't happen. So I'm ready for it, Nathan. But I'm going to take Red Oak for the win in this one. And I think our Super Bowl is Granger versus Red Oak, and we'll talk about that next week.
Could be fun. In Ferris, too. In Ferris.
And Ferris.
Ferris got a lot to play for. They got to put a team in the Super Bowl at their place. I mean, that's
huge. That's huge. And let me say this, going through here, we haven't talked about this. Red Oak says go Hawks. As you guys are listening to these matchups, just notice the town disparity. And we haven't really talked about this today, but you know, we go back to our 5U. You've got in this matchup, you got a Saginaw, Midlothian, Waxahachie, Kennedale. Okay. In this matchup, we got a Waxahachie, a Burleson, a Ferris, a Red Oak. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is absolutely awesome. And Nathan says Granger versus Ferris, 6U Super Bowl. He says Coach King is a heck of a coach, but didn't use the word heck. But for the children listening, we'll use the word heck. I love the disparity of the towns. All right, we're going to move on to tackle game 7U bracket. We've got another opportunity for Ferris to make the Super Bowl. They're playing the number 1 seed Elks with Coach Sticks in there.
They skated by last week. I don't see an upset there.
Ferris made the upset in Waxahachie.
Yeah.
Hats off to them.
It's a great game. Came
Was
down
it?
to the last second.
So what happened?
So we were driving. We got a penalty. I think a couple of penalties that stalled the drive, and we had a turnover on downs with enough time for them to take a knee and call it a day. So I mean, it was a great football game, back and forth match. They got the 2-point conversion on one of their scores, and we didn't, and that's what won the game.
Yeah, So Ferris is coming to our field. I will get to watch this game live. I believe this game kicks off at 11 o'clock. So I'm really excited about seeing this game. I think Dixon, this Dixon team's really good. And I think that they're going to take care of business and get to the Super Bowl. I don't really see this being a close game. I'm sorry, Ferris. I don't. I think that this game, you know.
Yeah, we were knocking on the door last week to win it and just shot ourselves in the foot with penalties.
Yeah, and good for them for pulling that win out. I mean, you got to win in playoff football. You got to win those close games.
Yeah, for sure.
You've got to win those games. I don't see that happening this weekend. What I see happening is I think Dixon's going to move on to the Super Bowl. I think it's been a great season for Ferris. Big upset win. They're in the championship round. I think Dixon wins this game. Our next seed is Saginaw versus RYA. I think I picked RYA to lose this game last week, and they didn't. It was close, but they didn't lose this game, and they're going against Saginaw. We got Ari on here, 7U Gators, get it done. I know my RYA, there we go. There's Cody, RYU Pinkston for the win. Let's go Royals. And Nathan just said, it's okay, Mike. You just added fuel to the fire. And then Paige says, if you ain't a Gator, you're Gator bait. I love it, y'all. Keep it coming.
Gator bait.
You
I
know,
don't know what to call Saginaw. They got so many mascots over there.
Yeah, they do. They've keep going through the teams and trying to figure them all out. We've got look, so I got Megan on here. Ferris 7U. Thomas says 7U. RYA coming. Saginaw is going to take care of business this week. I like RYA. I love what they're doing with their program out there. Those boys are ready to go. Really good players on that team. But I think we've got a Saginaw Elks Super Bowl next week. I really feel that.
I think that'll be a great matchup.
And it's going to be
come true.
good.
Yeah.
I believe they played. Matter of fact, I know they played earlier in the year. And that was a really good game when they played earlier. I will tell you this, after that Saginaw Elks game earlier in the year, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure their coaches had about a 2-hour meeting at our field. And they talked to the team. And
did they run them at all?
No, they didn't run the team, but all the coaches stuck around for a while talking about what happened. And they've been on a tear ever since. Right.
Maybe they got it figured out.
And I'm really interesting to see what type of adjustments are made because, in that game of Burleson versus Saginaw, Burleson was just the more physical team. They were more physical. Like Saginaw just couldn't get anything really going. And you kind of seen it because before that game, Saginaw was kind of running through everybody. And it was their first time getting hit with adversity. So I feel like, and this is nothing against Ferris or RYA, but I think that Super Bowl matchup, you said it earlier, it's hard for a team to beat somebody twice.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's going to be very interesting to see. Okay, now Saginaw knows what they're about to get. They know they're about to get hit in the mouth. Do they come out and swing first? And that's what I can't wait to see. All right, so here we go. We got people on here like they're already going back and forth. So Ari says you forgot 0 after the 2. BY says got to root for them Burleson brothers. Nathan says love RYA though. Think that their head coach is going to hurt them. They rally behind Pinkston. He's a great coach, or help them. As I'm saying. James says 12-6 7U RYA Pinkston going to be close. I can't disagree with the close game on there. And then Eric says, her Tim paid the refs a little bit extra. Y'all don't start that online now. Y'all about to get all kinds of emails now, Mike, about towns paying refs. Here we go. Chris says,
I mean, we do pay them, but you have to, though.
All right, please clarify that, Mike.
You have to pay them.
Okay. I'm going to get a message you watch. Like, oh, my God, this is why my baby lost last week. The refs were paid. Well. They're paid every week, guys, going from there. We got 32-6 on here. I assume that they're talking about the same score. The 7U is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think we've got some close games. If you either come out to the Elk field, come out to the Saginaw field, come and support these teams, and let's get it going. All right, we're moving on to 8U. This is really, really kind of good here. We've got Saginaw Vergari in Midlow. This Midlow team I have seen, they kind of went through some struggles. They were an undefeated team for a while, come in at that 5th seed, and then we have RYA versus the BBGC Elks Whitehead. We'll start with the top bracket, Saginaw. That has been the class of this division, this 8U all year. I mean, those boys are bad. He doesn't know it, but he's my friend Cash Money on that team. Especially as he becomes a YouTube star. Like I'm getting good with Cash Money right now. If you listen to Cash, I got you, man. I got you. You need it. If your dad doesn't be your agent, I'll be your agent, man. I got you. Good team there. They're confident. They're rolling. I like the Midlow team. I think they're a physical team. They're a good team. I just think Saginaw has too much firepower for them. I really do. I think Saginaw has way too much firepower on there. We got Chelsea 8U Frogs. Brandon says 8YU RYA Royals. Y'all keep sleeping on them. Nobody's sleeping on them, man. You guys are in the championship round and number 2 seed. Nobody's sleeping on them. They're good. Ari says the Saginaw Horned Frogs. Cash said, thanks, Mike. No problem. We got Ricky, 8U Midlothian going to the championship. And once again, guys, I just want to state, we got Saginaw in the championship round. We got Midlow. We got RYA, and we got the Elks in the championship round. Disparity yet again.
Absolutely.
Love it. Love it. And all these kids are playing for a championship. Ricky says Mike is wrong again. Ricky, come on,
Which
man.
Mike?
Yeah, there's 3 of us here.
Yeah, you got to be more specific there. Ricky,
Sleepy Ricky.
wake up, Ricky.
All right, so RYA and the Elks. This is the most interesting. I think Saginaw really takes care of business in that game. I'm sorry, Midlow, that game might be over by halftime.
Wow.
I really believe that in that
Semifinal
Saginaw game.
Wow.
I really do. That Saginaw team is good. This is the game to me in 8U because out of these 2 teams, RYA has a stud of a player. I don't know his name. I'm sure somebody's about to tell me on their team that is just really good. The Elks started off a little rough. Coach made a lot of offensive changes and player personnel changes, which you guys know from coaching, you sometimes have to do in the middle of a football season, especially Tavio. I hope I'm pronouncing that. Or is it Seno Tavio? Seno. Sean. If I'm mispronouncing his name, tell him I'm sorry. Good player. Elks made changes. I think this has the potential to be the game of the day, like by far the game of the day. I think they've played earlier in the season and RYA took the victory. I think this game's going to be close. I think the cold's going to make a difference. But
and it's the second time.
It's the number 2, and it's hard to beat a team twice. We've talked about that. And
I think
Eric says 40-6. Ooh,
it's a big number.
Eric.
In
It's a real big
semifinal
number.
game.
Okay. Oh, RYA won 40-6 the first one. Yes, they did. They won big. They won really
wow.
big against them. I'm taking the Elks to win.
Ooh.
A little home cooking.
It is home cooking. But man, I watch this.
The cake's bacon.
I watch this team every week, and that RYA team is good. And I love my boys from RYA. Like I love those guys. It says, Mike, you take the Elks every time. Well, I mean, most of the Elk teams I take win. Besides my 12U team, and I'm never going to pick against them. So, but the someone Maxwell says the league should live stream that game so we don't have to drive an hour to watch. Well, maybe that's something the league can talk about next year. I would love to live stream and call games and stuff like that. I'm taking the Elks to win. I'm taking them in a very close game. What I watched the Elks do last week against a Ferris team that has a lot of good athletes and really good. Ferris did not touch the ball until there was like 1 minute left in the first quarter.
Wow.
Very slow, very take your time. And I think that's what's going to happen this weekend. If it turns into a shootout, RYA has the potential of blowing them out. I will say that for the record. If it's one of those things that RYA marches down and then the Elks start pressing, that's not the game they can play with them. They can't play that game with them. But I just feel like that they're going to grind it out. I feel like this is the classic playoff football game, and I'm interested to see what happens.
The best thing about those games is just how emotionally draining they are, whether you win or lose. You know, you're in a tight game, and you're grinding it out with the other team, and you get done. You're like, God, I'm tired. And you don't like as a coach, I didn't even do anything, but I'm exhausted.
Yeah, and I feel like that's going to be this. RYA's defense is good. Eric says pressing like Dion Mike. Cody says it'll be over by halftime. Mark my words. Justin Whitehead, the coach team, says we played Red Oak, who was a very solid team. James Castro says, Mike, win when you learn. Look, guys, if I win in 7U tomorrow, Mike, you owe me lunch. Done. I will gladly take you to lunch tomorrow after the game, or you can get something from the concession stand on me since you'll be in the house. I will take that from there. And guys, you know, here's the deal. It's a road game for both of the teams. I know it says at BBGC, but I believe that's at Waxahachie, right?
Which one?
The Elks game, or is that Midlothian? Midlothian. It's in Midlothian. It's going to be a fun game to watch for sure. All right, here we go. We're moving on to 9U. We got Midlow Robinson versus Waxahachie. I don't see this being a contest. I'm sorry, Waxahachie. I think Robinson. I think this is
surprised, man. That team's been to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, so.
I think the only thing that would surprise me if it's still a game by halftime.
That's your old team.
That's my old team, yeah.
And I respect that. I feel like Robinson takes care of business.
I know Robinson personally. He's a great coach, fantastic guy. as a person as well. He's got a good football team. Well, we got some salty dudes, man. I
Yeah.
can say that because I coached them. So don't be surprised if it's close, and don't be surprised if there's an upset.
Yes, and you know, when we're talking the semifinals here, once again, I'm going to point out we got Midlow, Waxahachie, the Elks, and Saginaw. Disparity again, and this is our 9U. But I do think Midlow takes care of business, and then we've got the Elks playing Saginaw Bowling. I have said from the beginning of the year, and I'm not trying to blow past the 9U, but I've really felt like this was a 2-team race all year long in 9U with Robinson and the Elks, and they played earlier and it went to overtime, and Robinson won, I think, by 2 in overtime. I think this is destined for probably the best Super Bowl matchup of the year besides maybe 12U, and we'll get to that one in a second. I really believe this is destined for a huge Super Bowl matchup and one that I can't wait to watch.
Where's that game being played at, the Saginaw Elks game?
That is being played in Burleson.
In Burleson, okay.
So I've got the Elks winning that game too. I believe that game's going to kick off at around 1 o'clock here in Burleson.
I can tell you from experience that Saginaw team is pretty good.
Yeah, I think I don't know if someone can tell me if they've played or not. I haven't got a chance to look at that, but I did see that Saginaw team play in RYA, and they played a really good RYA team. And
they're very good defensively. I think they're one kid away from being a really good offensive team.
Yep. That Saginaw team was really good in RYA. They
very tough.
They grind the ball out really well. They got a couple players that will hit you in the mouth. And Chris says, Mike, you owe me a steak when we win. So Chris, so I've got several lunch bets here. Who are you pulling for? We've got several I'm assuming he's going for Saginaw. I hope you're not going for Waxahachie, because if so, we're going to like Double Eagle Steakhouse because you're owing me a steak. If you're going for Saginaw versus Burleson, then I'll go ahead and I'll bet you the steak on that one, and we'll go to Logan's as far as that goes. But I think that's where that division goes. All right, here we go to 10U. We've got
10U.
Man, this is like the bracket, and we've I'm got time to spare. So we've got your team, Langford versus RYA, and we got the Elks versus Lake Worth. Obviously, the Elks versus Lake Worth is probably going to be the game of the day in the entire league.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's another shootout.
I can't wait to see that game. We'll talk about that here in a second. Langford versus RYA. Now, we're going to call the spade a spade. Everybody says you guys haven't played anybody, right? Everybody. Y'all haven't played this RYA team yet, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be a good test.
For sure.
Right? It's going to be a good test. And I would not be a good host if I did not. I've said that I haven't thought that you guys have played a lot of people. I know your team is salty. I haven't got a chance to see them to play. I know that they're a good defensive team. I know they grind it out. I know you're going to pick your team to win. But I'm picking RYA in the upset in this game.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, Cody. Let me hear that. Cody, where you at?
I'm picking them in a very close game. I've seen, if this is the RYA team, I think that I've seen, they're a good team, and I know you guys are a good team. I feel like I'm curious as to what happens with your team when it's really tight. Like, I know you know what to do, and if
we've been in that situation this year, we played from behind already. So
yeah, but I don't think y'all played someone this good yet.
It's debatable.
Debatable. So that's my pick in this round. What is your score prediction? I got to know.
Well, I said this morning on our show it'd be 36-0.
Woo!
We won't get there before halftime, but we will get there.
36-0. Okay, you're coming back next week.
Yeah.
Coke bet?
Sure.
I drink Dr. Pepper.
Sounds good.
What do you drink?
Usually Big Red.
Okay, I will have a Big Red here if I'm wrong, but you have a Dr. Pepper here if I'm right.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't care what the score is. A win is a win.
A win is a win. I don't care the score either.
It don't matter to me.
I'm not calling it out. I'm not calling that out as far as scores. You notice I haven't really picked scores in this game because it's the playoffs. And for the sake of time, it doesn't matter if you win by one or you win, but this is championship round football.
For sure.
And the boys deserve to be in this game. You guys deserve it. You deserve the first seed. I've said that all along for what you've done. You played the schedule that's in front of you, and you guys kicked the snot out of people, and you deserve to be there. And they deserve to go to the Super Bowl if they get the win. And I can't wait for that matchup next week, whoever that is. Now, moving on to the Elks versus Lake Worth. We talked about this earlier.
Get your popcorn ready.
It is hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah, it's real hard.
It's
especially
hard
when
to beat a team
The first
twice.
one was by 2 points.
It's hard to beat a team twice.
24-22, is that what it was?
24-22.
Ouch.
I have said all year long that this Elks team was the best team in the 10U division. And them and Lake Worth and you guys have just gone out and pretty much dominated anybody that you've played. This game worries me for the Elks on a couple of things. Number one, it worries me because I know neither one of these teams wanted to play each other. That was that whole first. We won't talk about that, right? We only got 2 minutes left. They didn't want to play each other. But the reality of it is I'm giving this slight edge to the Elks because of home field advantage. I think this is another game that a turnover is going to matter.
Is it at your field or is
It's
that
at our
Centennial?
field. It's at our field on
Yeah.
the grass. I think with
Well,
the
it'll be
cold.
grass
Intentional
tomorrow by the
this
time
week?
that game
Oh yeah,
starts.
it's gonna be
mud.
mud.
From 20 to 20. It's gonna
Yeah.
be mud.
Slowing the speed down.
It's gonna
slowing
slow it down. I'm taking the Elks to win this game.
I'm
Close.
I'm gonna go with Lake Worth.
Okay,
Only because I feel like they have a chip on their shoulder, something to prove.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You can see it in the comments.
Yeah.
You got bullfrogs.
He
We're
desperately
coming the whole
wants to
town.
play me.
A lot of turnovers in that first game. Whoever cleans it up wins. I agree, Chris. I watched some of the film. Both teams turned it over. They're going to win that game. RYA is shocked that I picked them. They're like flipping out right now. See, I'm their hero right now. Like
They had to give him one, right?
They got my theme
Had to
music.
throw the
There
dog a
goes my
bone.
hero. All right, we got to get to 12 of you. We got about a minute and left to go from here. All right, so we've got Granbury first round versus Saginaw Barnes. I know the first time these two teams played, Barnes did not have a lot of their players. That's not an excuse. They did not have a lot of their players.
We heard that when they played Waxahachie. It turns out it might have been true. So
Barnes has loaded back up. They're going to have their team here. I've seen this Granbury
that's the
team.
defending Super Bowl champs right there.
Yep. They got something to play for.
They do, but I think they're going home. That
Ooh.
Granbury team is good.
Oh.
They're going home. And
I haven't seen Granbury, but I've seen
Granbury.
Saginaw
I've
twice.
seen Granbury twice. I've seen Saginaw. I mean, we'll see. That's why the game's played. I ain't picking.
All right,
nobody.
I
This
think
is my division.
I do
I'm
think-
not picking nobody.
I do think that Saginaw's going to score on them, and it's going to be a close game. I think that but I think Granbury's going to move on.
I think that game's going to come down to field position.
It will be. Yeah, there's for sure. Now here's the matchup with 30 seconds left. The little engine that could, Kennedale, and I pick against these guys every week against the Raiders. I love you, Kennedale. But I really think that next week's Super Bowl is the Raiders in Granbury, and that will be the game of the year. I am so excited about that. But
Kennedale's got athletes.
Kennedale has two really good coaches that I respect. The Raiders better be ready for them. That's all I can say for the Raiders is if they come out looking forward to the Super Bowl and they don't give Kennedale the respect, a Kennedale 12 team will take it from them. They do go out and take people's respect. You guys get out and watch playoff games tomorrow. It's championship Saturday. We'll see you next week.
Good luck.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Accelerated Graphics and Signs 101 East Renfro, Sweet C in Burlington, Texas, can handle all of your graphic needs. Need a banner or promotional products for your business? They got you covered. T-shirts and caps for your group. All you need to figure out is if you want them screen printed or embroidered. How about some slick graphics on that hot ride to make you stand out from the crowd? Accelerated Graphics and Signs can handle anything you throw at them. Located at 101 East Renfro Street, Sweet C in Burleson, Texas, go in and see them. Call them at 817-991-0523 or reach them on the web at www.acceleratedgraphics.net. They are loud and proud and want to serve you. Accelerated Graphics.